You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh, how
you know what time it is. I'm brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive. Stiff arm to your jaw, we breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown, we taking it.
Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk college football with real fans. I'm Melo, and that's the All-American Kirk Barton, aka the KirkFather, and you all know him from Buckeye Scoop, the most accurate channel on YouTube. So, how you doing, Kirk? How's your day going?
Amazing, man. It's great to be on here with you guys. You guys do a great job. You and Devin kill it. And I just appreciate you inviting me on here. Love watching you guys each and every day, and love watching you guys grow your channel.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we look up to Buckeye Scoop, and you guys are inspirational to what we do. We love everything you guys do over there. And yeah, that's part of the reason that we actually started the channel. So really, I just wanted to start off to just get to know you. I don't know if people do know that you guys are very supportive of the military. And that's exactly why I chose the artwork for this YouTube channel, because I feel like people don't know that. And I just wanted to know, where did you get such an affinity for the military, and how did you get into giving back to them?
Well, we've always, we have a pay it forward fund where, when people do super chats, they ask us questions, we put it into a fund. It's funny, I actually just got an email for someone that would like to sign up for it. And it's a great way to give back to police officers, firefighters, our active military, our retired military, paramedics, first responders are all eligible for it. And it's just been a passion. My father-in-law was active Navy, had a great career. Nevada's father was an Air Force colonel. So, I mean, they're, big time positions, but, a lot of it came with trust. I mean, Jim Trussell obviously was huge with the military. We would constantly have people, dressed out in their uniforms at practice, kind of as a treat. We had a guy named Bob Tucker who's passed away, God rest his soul, who's kind of the head of that. And he would organize having military members come to our practice, and we'd always go over and thank them for their service, and talk to them for 5-10 minutes as we conclude practice. So I think that we live in a culture where the police have a very difficult job, and I think that they get a bad rap. So I think that it's unfortunate, and so we really try to go out of our way to support them, because again, I think they have the hardest job in the world, and our military folks are right next to them. Again, it's a difficult job. You're away from your family. You're deployed. There's a lot of sacrifice from the families. You're not having their husband or wife around for extended periods of time. So we really try to highlight that and never forget to say thank you for what they do. Because again, it's just something I don't think that is done enough, and it's not popular, and you don't hear it enough. And without without having the greatest military in the history of mankind, like the United States isn't what it is. The military is the thing that keeps us where we are, and the same with our police force. Our police force that patrols our streets, and they have to run into oftentimes horrific situations and risk their lives. And there's not many jobs that you wake up every day and you're risking something very very permanent, like being a police officer, and it's tough. So again, we keep them in our thoughts and prayers at all times.
Yeah, so for me, it hits pretty close to home. I was in the military. I had 2 deployments to Afghanistan, lost a lot of friends. So actually, when I started watching your show a few years ago, like, that's one thing that kept me coming back. Besides, obviously, I think the chat and the community is one of the best, period, if not the best, on all of YouTube. So it was awesome. It felt like a family environment. I don't know, you might not be able to experience that as much hosting and running it and having so many people in your chat. It's got to be difficult to know what's going on, but I mean, the chat is awesome. I met a lot of people, a lot of good people through your chat. So I really do appreciate it. I appreciate what you do for the military. And that's actually something that inspired me and Dev to do what we do, where we give half of our super chat money will go to homeless vets and helping them, and the other half goes to Teen Challenge for teens that are going through hardships, kind of like something that Dev went through. So it's personal for him, but we actually got the idea for what you and Nevada do. So I wanted to just thank you and just I think the whole world should know about that, honestly. And it's kind of hard if you're talking about it yourself, but it's easier for somebody else to bring it up, because then it doesn't look as arrogant or like you're trying to be boastful. But I think it's very important for people to know and for that message to be out there, that all the good stuff that you guys are doing over there with your channel, and you don't have to do it. So like, I salute you for that, honestly.
Thank you.
Yep. But I wanted to actually get into your experience as a football player and All-American at Ohio State and what that was like.
Well, it was the best experience of my life. Football has given me everything in my life, which is something that it's paved the way for, the life I get to live with my my wife, my kids. It's a big sacrifice. You have to play football, especially when you're a young kid. I mean, it's a lot of hours that nobody really sees. I mean, obviously you see what happens on the Saturdays, on the field, but it's a lot of hours of lifting and running and preparation and doing a lot of stuff that isn't really fun to do all the time, practicing and playing hurt and everything else. But it's worth it. And I think that there's something about football where you really test yourself. You see how deep you can push. How deep does your tank go in terms of your resolve? Yeah. And it's that's one of the most beneficial things. I had a great high school coach, Keith Wakefield at Perry High School, and he instilled a lot of the toughness, discipline. Like, they're old adages, but there's something that I think are fading. I think in kind of the modern generation, they're not as tough as I feel like the older generations were, because you can't coach as hard anymore. And so when you go through the crucible that's playing football, and playing at Ohio State's a different animal, because the expectations are impossible for the most part. I mean, again, we have this amazing run where we won the national title, but 6 weeks earlier we wanted to fire Ryan Day, fire Chip Kelly, fire Will Howard, get rid of everybody. So it really hardens you up, makes you tough. And I love everything about football. I study it incessantly, because I really like to know what all the trends are, where things are going schematically, what's changing about the game, personnel. So it really helps me when I get on the mic every night, because I've been studying basically all day what's going on in the game. I watch a ton of film, and it's something that I really love to do.
Yeah. So I actually have a 2-part question. I'm sorry, I know this wasn't what it's supposed to be, but like, I find you very interesting, and I like to know a lot. Did you go to high school in Ohio or in Florida?
So I went to high school at Massillon Ferry. I moved up to Canton in 7th grade. I moved to Massillon. I was born in Canton, lived in Florida for 10 years. I moved up here when my dad passed away. Moved back up here because all my family's up here. And just started kind of that journey of development. I mean, I never played football. I never played youth football. I didn't play football until 8th grade. And I was a big kid. I was a backup. I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't remember the plays. Nobody at that point was picking me to be like a Division I, let alone an Ohio State level player. But I kept at it and kept growing and trained really hard and ran a lot and wanted to make sure that my conditioning was excellent. And, just wanted to keep getting better and better. And I think that, I kept kind of jumping year over year and getting better and better. And loved the game. Honestly, I love winning. Like, the game can be brutal just because of the amount of pain and injuries and that type of thing. The mental stuff that you have to go through when you're playing, but the winning is incredible. And even just winning your plays, winning your reps, getting a pancake, like, those are things that are euphoric, and it's something that frankly you can't really generate anywhere else. So it's a rush, and that's why I love the game so much.
So what would you say in terms of when you played football in high school in the state of Ohio and the current high school football in the state of Ohio? How do you compare and contrast that in terms of development and where it's at now?
Well, I think that the kids, especially skill players, are more further along. They're more developed just because of the the advances in nutrition, the advances in personal training. There's a lot of great training centers throughout Central Ohio and the state of Ohio. I don't think that the game is as physical as it used to be, simply because they're not allowed to have as much contact. In your preseason camp, 2-a-days are gone. The contact is limited. It's a much different sport now. It's a lot harder. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because again, you're less wear and tear on the body, but it's hard to, it's something that coaches complain about constantly. It's hard to really make the fundamentals as clean as you want them to be when you have such limited contact. Now, that's just part of the gig. But I think that the skill is much higher now. I think that's across all sports. If you look at the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, like every single player is more athletic, is more skilled. Because again, I think the advancements in training, nutrition, I think kids specialize earlier. So it kind of all compounds to the point where you see these kids that are freshmen, like Jeremiah Smith, show up and they play like seniors, because in the offseason, when he's done at Shama Madonna, which is the high school he went to, he goes and plays for the South Florida Express. So every single weekend he's playing high level 7-on-7 versus 4 and 5 star kids, and training, running routes. So I mean, 7-on-7 didn't exist when I was, or it might have did in a very small format, nothing like today.
Right.
So the skill guys, like those receivers and those quarterbacks, get a lot more throws. Now, it's not the same game, but you could take a lot from 7-on-7, in my opinion. So I think the skill guys, but the linemen are also super talented. Like I was just talking about Josh Simmons on our show tonight, and Donnie Jackson, and those guys they're physically as good as we've ever had outside of maybe Orlando Pace. I mean, those guys are really in good shape. They're really talented. I think Josh Simmons is the best tackle in the draft. I don't think it's close, because his athleticism is just so incredibly rare because of how easy he moves. So I think that, like, across the board, kids are just more athletic now than they used to be.
Okay. So this upcoming season, just looking and analyzing, you've been a coach, you've been a player, obviously, you played at the highest levels. If you had to analyze this Buckeyes team strengths and weaknesses, what would it be, and what would your expectations for this upcoming season be?
Well, I think that the strengths are just the depth across the board outside of the defensive line. We're deep at linebacker. We've got maybe the deepest secondary we've ever had. Offensive line's as good as we've ever had from a total room standpoint. Best tight end room in Ohio State history, in my opinion. Receivers, maybe the best we've ever had. Running backs, outstanding. And it comes down to Julian Sain, and it comes down to our defensive line, really, in my opinion. Julian's got to take care of the ball. He's got to make plays, but he has to cut it loose. Don't make him a game manager. Don't make him scared to make a mistake. But, the quarterback play last year was so incredibly high that it's hard Will Howard was basically perfect. And he had some bad moments. The Michigan game wasn't great. He had a nerve, so he was hurt, and so when he took that hit and that nerve wasn't firing right, all of a sudden he couldn't throw real well. So he was kind of a shell of himself. So it's kind of a shame that people bash him when he was hurt and he went back out there like a warrior. So I don't grade him down on that. But that's a big lofty standard to live up to. And thankfully, the good thing about Julian being here last year is he got to be around Will Howard, and Will Howard is a pro's pro. He's a grinder, he's tough, great leader, a lot of charisma. And Julian's got to be Julian, but you can take bits and pieces from what Will Howard did in terms of his study habits and his work ethic, and just emulate him. Like, that's the nice thing about when you have a guy like Will Howard in the building, is that you can see this is how you need to do it to win a national championship. You don't have to guess or read books or watch some YouTube video. Like, the guy was sitting right next to you, and he's probably going to be a second-round draft pick in the draft. So I think that's a huge benefit for Julian Sain and for Ryan Day going forward.
Absolutely. And I had a question, because I see a lot of people saying, well, you can't take anything from the spring game because the defense only played 2 or 3 different types of coverages. But from a nuance standpoint, can you take a little bit, like, in terms of where he was placing the ball to where only his receivers could catch it and the touch he had on the ball? For instance, that seam pass to Max Clare, our starting defense was in. Caleb Downs was in on that play. So can you take something positive from that, or is it just, oh, they weren't playing real defense, so you can't really take anything from it?
Oh, I think you absolutely can take stuff from that. I mean, you're playing in front of a crowd for the first time. You're playing, and you're still playing at scaled downs. I mean, not again, they're not running, they're not blitzing, they're not stunting, and they're not running any twists. So it's not going to be, you're gonna get vanilla looks, and you can take advantage of that. But you still got to make the throws,
Right.
and you still got to run the routes, still got to catch the ball. I think you can get a great evaluation of the offensive defensive lines and in straight scenarios, is in like, they're getting straight rushes. So you get to watch Logan George versus Ian Moore straight up and see, okay, can Ian hang in there in pass pro versus a guy like Logan George, who had a couple sacks. And again, sometimes in those games, some of the sacks might not have actually been sacks if it's a live situation, because there's a time, I don't know if it was Tavian or who it was, but it was kind of like a touch, and like what his two fingernails would have really got down Tavian St. Clair, who's a giant Clydesdale of a human being, probably not. So I think you can get a lot from the spring game, and people that say that you can't get anything from a spring game just don't understand football at all, because you really you're evaluating everything. And again, if some kid has some incredible performance, like I remember Solomon Thomas had like 7 sacks in a spring game and had like 1 sack his entire career in real time, like. That's an anomaly, because I think you have to evaluate the matchups. If Solomon Thomas is going against a walk-on tackle and he beats him 7 times, then that probably isn't an eval. But when it's good on good, and it's, when it's Dave Sadig-Benosin versus JJ, and it's a one-on-one man coverage, and they throw it over there, and okay, well, what happened? So you can evaluate that. So I think that it's lazy to say you can't get anything. Now, can you? Is a reason to go over the top with it? Not really, but you can always, when those guys are out there and they're playing and it's competitive. And I thought this was the most competitive spring game I've ever seen. I'm not kidding. This was these guys were getting after it. It was tough. And a lot of these guys are young. They haven't done anything outside of JJ, Caleb Downs, and some of those linemen. They haven't done a ton. So, and some of those linemen were rotational guys last year. They haven't started a whole season. So, they're not made men yet. Next year they will be. But right now, they still got to go put in that work. And I thought they did a great job. I thought it was, and I give Ryan Day a lot of credit. I thought it was the best spring game that I've seen in terms of a competitive atmosphere and being tough and good situations. And I thought they did a really great job of managing that.
So what are your feelings about how he made the quarterbacks live during Student Appreciation Day?
I think you had to. I mean, because the difference is if we were opening with, because I think we play Grambling or FAMU. We play one of those, or you play Grambling. You play Grambling week 1, then we'll make them live then. But you play Texas week 1. Like Julian Saint's never been hit in college, so you gotta. I mean, I want the quarterback to get hit, because I want him to get hit a couple times, because you don't want him to, go belly up when he gets hit one time and then he's rattled and he can't make a throw and he's screwing up adjustments, whatever. I just think that it's really important to see how these guys look under real pressure. And again, that's not just the quarterbacks, that's the offensive line, the offensive tackles, because there's a different level when if you get beat, your quarterback could get hurt, could get hit, could fumble. There's all these doomsday scenarios that play in your head when you're an offensive lineman. Like, hey, if you give up that sack fumble for a touchdown, like if you're the right tackle in Texas and you give up the Jack Sawyer play, then that's what you're known for the rest of your life, essentially. Yeah. So that's not a place you want to be at. And the only time you have that real pressure is when the quarterback's live. So again, I like it because I want those tackles to have anxiety. I want them to like, are they going to be able to do it when it's a live situation? It's not practice and people are watching. And if you get beat, the whole world can annihilate you, because that happens. If you're an offensive lineman, you have a bad game at Ohio State, like the people are vicious, and it's very, very noticeable.
That is very true. And the reason I brought it up is because me and Dev have been interviewing a lot of these recruits and their parents. And every single one that was at that spring student appreciation practice, the first thing, and they went on it unprompted, was like, I can't believe Coach Day had the quarterbacks live. They were like, that was so impressive. They said they'd never seen anything like that on any college that they went to, any visit. And they said the intensity was ridiculous. I'm not going to put out a name, but one of the recruits flat out told me, said, I asked him, just because, you hear stuff from the beat writers, but they're not seeing a whole lot. And they don't really have a super football IQ. Like, you don't know their IQ level. So they flat out told me they need to find a replacement for Jack Sawyer. That was the first thing they said. They said, obviously, the running back room is going to take a little bit of dip. And then they flat out told me everywhere else they're going to be better. They're like, that defense is so fast and ferocious is ridiculous. They said they were super impressed with the quarterbacks, especially Tavian St. Clair, which is not something you heard from anybody else, but they were like really high on Tavian. They're like, he jumped out at them while they were watching. They said Devin Sanchez was holding his own, even though they just showed the routes of him getting beat. But they said he was holding his own against JJ, and they're like, that's the best wide receiver in the game. And he was battling. He wasn't winning every rep, but he was winning some. He was running a lot more than what they were showing. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. And I know you talked to Coach Day, so I don't know if that message will get back to him or not, that they were highly impressed with that practice for sure.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. No,
I was gonna say the kids, the kids love intensity. When you have these kids that visit your practice, they want energy, they want intensity, they want people getting after it because that's what they know will make them better. So you want to have those big spirited scrimmages and guys getting after it because that's what makes guys better. You want to see Devin Sanchez going out there versus Jeremiah Smith because for one, you're like, well, okay, you're a 5-star kid and you can go to Georgia or Florida or Bama or wherever, but if you're good enough here, we're going to put you against JJ. You're not going to be running off the threes. You're not going to be going against some walk-on wide receiver. Like, you're going to go against the big dog early, and we'll test you and see how you are. And again, like, I would point to Jeremiah Smith as the guy and be like, look, if you're good enough, you're playing. Period. I mean, we're playing a true sophomore quarterback. JJ was a true freshman. Started game 1, played every game, started every game, broke every record because he's good enough. So again, like that's my biggest message. If you're good enough to play, you will play. There's not a seniority thing. There's not a pecking order. And it resets every year. These guys got to go out and earn their jobs, which I know that sounds corny when I say that you got to re-earn it if you're JJ or Caleb Downs, but that's kind of the mentality is you got to go back and earn that thing and keep it. And obviously for some of those guys, it doesn't take a lot of effort for JJ or Caleb to win the job, but that's kind of the mentality that you have starting in the winter. And so those guys are ferocious and it's a tough battle. And you don't want anybody sitting on your throne. When you have a position and you're a starter, like, you don't want anybody sitting in your seat.
Right.
So that drives the great ones to stay great.
So I wanted to ask you about the brotherhood, because we hear everybody talking about the brotherhood this, the brotherhood that. Is the brotherhood a real thing? And what does the brotherhood mean to you?
I think the brotherhood is a real thing. I think that, like anything in life, in any organization, whether you work, whether you've played on a high school team, a college team, there's always kind of groups that form. Because let's be real, like when there's 100 and they're down to 105, like when we had 125 guys on the team, not everybody is going to get along. Not everybody's going to be best friends. Not everybody is going to be cool with each other. I mean, that's just life. I mean, it's like that at work. It's like that anywhere you go, school. But yeah, I mean, some of my best friends are people I've met at Ohio State or through Ohio State. I think the brotherhood extends to the coaches as well, along with maybe some of the people you've met on campus as friends. But it's definitely a real thing. But again, it's just like anything else. Like when some people have what some people want, there's always going to be some turmoil, and that's that's not just Ohio State, that's any roster in the country, any team in the country. So there are some guys that don't like each other. So again, the brotherhood thing is great. Some of my best friends, some guys Troy Smith, Anthony Gonzalez, AJ Hawk, guys I'd do anything for. Some of the greatest guys ever. TJ Downing was my right guard, Antonio Pittman, Beanie Wells, like Cam Hayward, guys that I love seeing those guys develop. I love seeing them thrive. But how it is, man. It's like, when you played a sport in high school or something, like you don't always see everybody all the time, and that's kind of the thing I always joke about on our shows. Like, we won the Big Ten my last 3 years, 05, 06, 07. And at Ohio State, like, they don't honor teams that just win the Big Ten. Like, you have to win the national title or else they don't, they might do like a 50-year or a 25-year, but we've never had a reunion for a Big Ten title team, which again, it's fine. I mean, I don't care, but like at any other school in the country, they probably have like the 10-year reunion of the 2005 Big Ten championship team that beat Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl and whatever. And again, I don't care. I mean, honestly, I kind of like it. I kind of like that it's either natty or bust for us because the standard is insane at Ohio State, and that's why I always joke with Orlando Pace that if he played at any other school in the country, he'd have his number retired. But here, it's you got to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
So it's there's levels to it. I love it. But the brotherhood is very real. Like Troy Smith, when I saw a lot of these guys at Tressel's inauguration when he became lieutenant governor, it was just great seeing a bunch of these guys. And I don't see them a lot because a lot of these guys they live all over the state, they live all over the country. And we all have different lives. We all have different jobs, and we don't. None of my teammates are my neighbors, so it's like, once you're in your own little work mode, then it's kind of you're kind of is what it is. But I love catching up with guys. I love seeing like David Patterson just moved back here. He's one of my favorite teammates of all time, one of my best friends of all time, and I met his new wife, and we had some cocktails like with me, him, my wife, his wife, and it was just amazing, and love, and there's just much love and respect with the guys that are the real ones. Again, there's some, and like I said, it's like any team. There's some, you're always gonna have some guys that are like really your guys, especially in football, because there's just so many 125 guys. Like it's hard to be ultra tight with everybody because that's just life, But the brotherhood is absolutely real.
So I have two final questions for you.
Sure.
Obviously for Dev and myself, we view you and more like a not just a friend, but like a mentor for us in terms of if we have any questions or we know we could reach out to you and you will give us sound advice and truthful advice, which I think is always the best advice. Now we've had kids, offensive linemen, that we told them about you, not on air, but like we talked to them behind stage and stuff. If they wanted to reach out to you, would it be all right for us to give them your contact information and stuff? Because I mean, everybody wants a tree in Buckeye Grove. Let's just be honest. So,
yeah, I mean, I would love to help however I can. Again, I always have this mentality where I want everyone around me to do better than me. And then it magically makes me do really, really good in life. Like when I coached, I coached like Jack Mewhort, who was drafted second round. I coached Andrew Norwell, who was the highest paid guard in NFL history. I coached Corey Lindsley, who's the highest paid center in NFL history. I coached Taylor Decker, who's made $120 million in his career. And I tried to give them every bit of information that I wish I would have known when I was like 18 years old. Taylor Decker was a freshman in 2012, and I tried to give him every single bit of stuff that I wish someone would have told me. I don't hold any of it back. I don't say, well, you're gonna have to find out the hard way like I did. Because I thought that was what it would take to be a great coach, is just, hey, how can I make this kid as good as he can possibly be? And then I've just kind of converted that into my life. And like with podcasting, I literally have had to teach myself how to do everything. Yeah. Every single thing. I didn't know how to run a podcast. I didn't know how to get good sound. I didn't know how to get the video to look good. I didn't know how to run a stream. I didn't know what equipment I needed. I had to bootstrap everything, figure it out. 50,000 trips to Best Buy for getting a different cord, a wire, a new camera, lighting, like all, it's just, so if I can help people, I want to do that. Say, hey, this is a good microphone. This is a good thing to do. Hey, this is a good thing to start your show with. Hey, this is something that has really helped me. This has helped me, keep my audience happy and entertained. So again, I think that it's Christian to help people.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, you guys aren't in need. Like, you guys would be fine without me. But if I can give you guys some advice on stuff that, frankly, would have saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars, to know in terms of this is a way to do the show right. This is the way to grow it. This is the way to really, if you guys want to do this, like, let's do it this way so that you can actually get good at it and eventually earn a living doing it. So again, I really just try to help because, again, I had no help. I was watching videos and Googling, and that's the thing about the great thing about modern day technology is you can teach yourself how to do anything. But I had to, you go look back at our early streams, man, and I always joke it looked like Bin Laden when he was in the cave, with the VHS for the battery operated VHS tape. Like, that's what my stuff used to look like. So we've come a long way, but I had the foresight to invest heavily in technology and invest in good camera and a good microphone, and because I want it to look nice. Because again, I always I think that the way that YouTube is growing, it's the future, and more people watch YouTube now than any point in history, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as people cut the cord, and there's just so much entertainment that you can find on YouTube now.
Yeah, because I feel like you still have that coach inside of you just from talking to you right now. So I was just wondering if it was cool if we if kids wanted to reach out to you, if it was cool to pass your contact info to them.
Yeah, like I said, I love to help kids out in recruiting. I love to help kids out in just what questions to ask, or what's important, or what does it mean if a coach says this, because I can decipher all of that.
Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on and filling in for Dev, and thank you. Honestly, that's why we call you the KirkFather, because we're not gonna call you the Godfather. Obviously, that's already taken. But you're on that same level in turn, especially in this space. You're the king of this. So I appreciate you. I feel that me and Devin are blessed that we have you guys in our corner, and you guys help us out tremendously. And shout out to B Moses, Funky Buck, and Nevada. So thank you. Do you have any last thoughts you want to give out to Ohio before you bounce?
Keep using our guys, man. Use B Moses, use Funky Buck. I mean, they're superstars. Like Brandon Moses is just an absolute superstar, one of the nicest, kindest, but he's just razor sharp. I love everything. Him and Funky have such a great chemistry on Sunday nights, and I'm so proud of what they've grown their show to be and the niches that they have. And so I appreciate you having those guys on, because they're incredible, and they're growing just like you guys are. So
absolutely, we I feel like they're like brothers for us, man. They're awesome. We watch their show, we talk to them offline and everything. But I'm gonna read this out loud because it's in reference to you. Thanks for the $2, Chris Lang. Just because Kirk came on, go Bucks.
I love that. That's awesome.
But thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Always, brother. I appreciate you. Anytime you need me, you got my number.
Okay? All right, OH, brother.
All right, you guys have a great one, and thank you. And you guys make sure you keep killing it, because you guys are growing and you guys are superstars. So I appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you.
All right. See you, brother.
Hey, everybody. I'm gonna read out a couple of super chats. Then I got another special guest that I'm bringing on. We're gonna dive into some recruiting and maybe some portal stuff. I have to bring my guru on. Hold on, here they are. Shout out to Duda Man, $20 holla for the calls, guys. Thank you, man. The homeless vets thing is super important to me. It's really important and big because obviously I was a vet, and I'm fortunate and blessed enough that by God's grace that I have a place and shelter to live in. A lot of the vets don't. They come on hard times. They have mental health struggles. They're not getting the help they need from the VA and the government like they should. It's almost as if they use us and chew us up and spit us out. And you can ask any vet. There's a lot of vets in this channel and in our chat, and they'll probably tell you the same thing, to be honest with you. So we appreciate that. It means the world to me, and I know it means the world to Dev and his cause, because you've seen Dev's testimony, and if you haven't, please go back and watch it. It's a true story, true testament, and he's just thriving right now. And Dev is really killing it, like life. Forget this YouTube thing. Dev is killing life right now, and it's because of the mercy and grace of the Lord. So that's why we shout it out. We're not ashamed that we're believers and followers. If we lose people that don't like it, then so be it. We don't care. But we have to just walk in our faith and our reality, and that's what it is. So thank you guys for all the super chats that you do. It really is going to good causes. And as we reach a certain dollar amount, because we're not just going to sign over and give them like a little bit of chump change, we will be posting all the super chats and showing you guys exactly where every single dollar that you have super chatted, where it's going. We do not pocket any of that money. It goes back into the channel, or it goes straight to homeless vets, team challenge. We're buying tickets to bring people to games with us. So, I mean, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And with that being said, I'm going to bring on our special guest. Hold on. I got to shout out Aaron. Aaron just sent me this in the mail. He made this custom, and I appreciate you, man. I'm going to put this on the wall right back there with the rest of my Buckeye stuff, and I appreciate you doing this. You guys should hit up Aaron. He's really good at this. He made it himself, and it's a beautiful thing. Thank you, brother. With that said, I'm gonna bring our special guest on right now. Welcome, the guru, Mika Hanna. What's up, Mika?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
New mic and new laptop, so
Oh my goodness, this sounds amazing. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
yeah, a lot better than using my phone.
Man, shout out to our boy Garrison's in the chat. I gotta get Garrison on here
Yeah,
at some
he's,
point when I get back.
he's really cool. I like Garrison.
Yeah, he's good. So, funny story. This is a true story. I don't think Garrison even knows this. I never told Garrison this, but I was heavy watching YouTube and Ohio State stuff, and Garrison had started a channel with one of his best friends who's a Team Up North fan, and he's an Ohio State fan. And the crazy thing is, before I saw that channel, I was like, if I ever do podcasting, because I didn't know Dev at the time, I was like, I'm gonna get Maze Madman, and we're gonna do an Ohio State Team Up North pod together, because I don't think anybody's doing that. And then one day I just scrolled, and Garrison and his friend was doing it, and I was like, and they were killing it, and I was like, well, there goes that idea. Can't do that. So shout out to Garrison. He's been doing big things for a while. I don't know if people know that or not, but that channel and that concept was fire. And shout out to Dennis Moore. Thank you for the $5. Buckeye Boys Rock OHIO. So Mika, what's up? How's your day going?
Doing pretty good. Glad to be back on.
Yeah, we got a lot of recruiting to dive into.
Yes, we do.
Where you want to start? What's the last position group that we finished?
I think it was tight ends.
So are we on the defense now? I think we're on the defense now. Are we or are we not?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so where do you want to start in defense?
I really want Deuce Gerald to be a Buckeye so much.
Man, who are you telling?
I don't care what position he wants to play. I want him D-tackle, defensive end. I don't care. He's dominant. He's fast. He's everything you could want in a defensive player. I don't care what his ranking says. He should be ranked higher, and he needs to be a Buckeye.
So as you talk, I'm actually gonna, as we talk through these guys, I'm gonna pull up a little bit of their film. Now I have actual film of Deuce Gerald's from the games that I went to, but I'm actually saving that because we got a surprise for you guys. When Devin comes back, we're gonna have Deuce on the channel. It's
awesome.
We already have it worked out, and that's why I'm gonna throw it up, because I know I'm gonna have him critique his own game and what he was thinking and going through, because I just think it's cooler doing it that way, and nobody has that type of angle or access that's in like one of the big networks like Con3 or 247. They don't have the same thing, so I think it would be a good concept. I like to try to be as different as possible,
Yeah, definitely. If you need someone to help with the interview, I'd be game.
I know you would. We'll see what's up. I know Dev's gonna want to be in on it, but this is some. Can you see the film at all, Mika?
Yes.
So right here they have him lined up off the end, and remind you guys, he's a defensive tackle, man.
That's what I'm saying.
He got up to 19.75 miles per hour on this run right here at 275 pounds.
That's what I'm saying. He's so versatile and so fast.
He's playing Wildcat direct snap. And this is his junior film, so he's just going to get faster.
A human being that big should not be able to move like that.
Yeah. Now he's at D tackle. Double team. This is against Tyler Atkinson's team, Grayson.
And that's the thing. He's going up against great competition, too. It's not like he's going against a bunch of third-grade JV players.
Right. Exactly. He's playing against the best, man. I think that last play was against he sacked Julian Lewis. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me. I'm about 90% sure that was Julian Lewis that he sacked.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I mean, he's just a freak, man. I truly think he's the best defensive tackle in America.
Plus,
I
he's
really
a
do.
really big dog person, which is a big selling point for me. I love dogs.
Oh yeah, me too. But look at it. He already has a plethora of rushing moves
I
that he's
am
using. So imagine when LJ like really hones in and fine tunes the little things in his game, how much more elite he will be.
I am kind of ticked at UGA because they weren't even interested until we started showing serious
Yeah,
interest in
yeah,
him.
but you
And
don't have to be worried about that. I'm telling you, he
I
he sees through that.
I know he's
And the good thing that the big joker is that his AD graduated from Ohio State, so it's a big time Buckeye program in
I mean
terms of the support. Now, obviously, though the kids are gonna make their own choice and decisions because I mean that's the same high school that Travis Hunter went to, and they had the same AD back then. Travis
yeah
Hunter initially committed to FSU. We were never in the picture. So at the end of the day, it's about relationships. I think LJ has the best relationship with Deuce, and I'm gonna flat out ask him that. I'm gonna ask him about the pressure that he's getting from school to pick Ohio State and just go from there. But I think that's enough film of him. Let's move on. Who do you want to talk about next? I'm letting
um
you run this. This is your show.
the new defensive tackle offer Jameer Perez out of Glenville. He's really
Jamil,
good.
you said Jamil?
Jameer
Oh,
Perez.
Jameer. All right, I'm gonna look him up. Let's see. Let's see. Can you just give us a little update about him as I look him up?
He's 6'4", 330. I heard he's even bigger than that now, and he can move. He's out of Glenville, so you know we got to keep that pipeline going. And I think if we push for him, we can get him.
Yeah. Glenville kid. You know we love those Glenville kids, right?
Yep.
It is awesome. I'm about to share the screen. I think it's on a commercial right now, by the way. So it's not my fault.
He's a big belly nose tackle type kid.
Oh, I gotta enlarge it. Sorry.
And he
Is
also
this
played.
better?
I can see it.
All right. I never seen film of him, so this is actually my first time seeing him. I'm gonna be honest with you.
And he also plays a little guard too.
Offensive?
Yeah.
How is he on offense?
I like him, but I like him better at DT. And I think that's what he's going to be in college.
Man, he is quick off the ball. And
And
he's a big kid.
he's so underrated, dude. I don't even think he has a ranking at 247 right now. If he
Really?
does, if he does, it's really low. And I've been high on this kid for a while now. I've been asking people at Buckeye Huddle and everything, why haven't we offered this kid? Because look how he moves.
So, Mika, that's the next level in the game. We're going to have you start reaching out to the East recruits, especially the Ohio ones, and finding out what's going on. Because I feel like, actually, I know this for a fact that you bring up kids to these gurus. That's why I call you the guru, that they have no idea who they are. And they play it off with you and in the chat because they don't want to be embarrassed because that's what they're supposed to do. And they'll go and they'll quickly look them up, or they'll be like, yeah, we don't have anything on them right now. I don't think they offered. So, but if we get something, we'll let you know. And then what they do, Mika, which I know you don't know this, they go after the show's over and they go research the kids. So that way, the next time you ask, you can't stump them. And a lot of times they'll act like they don't see your questions. If they don't answer your question directly, it's because they don't know who that is and they don't know what to say to you. So they just act like they don't see it. So now you know. That's why I call you the guru.
Well,
And I know this for a fact because they told me that straight up out their mouth.
Really?
Yes, really.
Wow.
And that was the second I was like, oh yeah, if I ever do a pod, Mika's coming on. We're gonna have if we're talking about recruiting, I'm gonna have a spot just for Mika, because if she's stomping them, then that means she knows more than them in essence. So now the last thing to make you super proficient and to take your game to the next level is for you to DM these kids and start building relationships with them so you could talk to them directly.
I just hope they don't think I'm creepy.
Nobody's gonna think you creepy. How do you think we get all these kids on here? We reach out to them. It was mostly Sean and Dev. I wouldn't do it because that's too many people reaching out to the kids. Now, some of the Georgia kids that I've established some kind of relationship with, or I might know them through different means, I'll reach out to them directly. But for the most part, I was letting Dev and Sean do it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's where it's gonna go. But we haven't even been accessing talking about this kid's film, but I think everyone could see it and assess themselves right
I
now on what he's doing. I mean, he's getting off the ball, he's disengaging off the blocks and getting to the quarterbacks or getting tackles for losses. And obviously, this is a highlight reel. Everybody's highlight film is not going to have any low lights on it. But if you're getting an Ohio State offer, it's pretty serious.
and I mean, he's huge and he's taking on double teams and getting through, man.
Yep.
And he's not ranked. I don't even think he's. If he's ranked, it's low.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look it up. I won't look it up right now, but I will look it up later. Um, who do you want to talk about next?
The new wide receiver commit, Brock Boyd.
Oh man, that kid is
Man,
ridiculous.
I love him. He's so fast. He can stretch the field like crazy.
So did you know that he ran 21.13 200 meter?
Yeah, I saw that in his bio.
I mean, I don't know if people actually understand how fast that is.
He doesn't, and the thing is, he doesn't look like would be that fast because he's just leaving people in the dust, and he's not a long strider, but
Yeah.
he's jittery quick. He's got that thing where he just slips by you and he's gone.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a great route runner. Um they say he's like 165, but he's actually 185. And I don't care about his size. They're trying to say he's small. He's just gonna get faster
He's
when
not.
he comes to Ohio State. And we already know body by Maradi. He's gonna gain 20 pounds if they want him to gain 20 pounds. Look at that. Did you see him hurdle that dude?
Yes, and I hope that
I'm gonna
when
rewind it just in case anybody else missed it.
I hope that when they do put weight on him, which I know he's about 185 now, but I hope if they do put weight on him, he keeps his speed because his speed is elite.
So here's the thing: in terms of like the type of weight training and speed and agility training that they're doing, you will get faster, and they are putting muscle in. So he will get faster, even though he's getting bigger. But watch this hurdle. Whoop! I wonder if he does hurdles in track as well, because he hurdled that kid like he was actually in track on that track meet. And that was PI. Let's see this. That kid was hanging all on him. He's running pretty much a straight up 9 route right there. He just ran past the kid who was playing like 15 yards off coverage.
I know
Ran
a lot
past another kid that's like had 9-yard depth.
I know a lot of people have been comparing him to Devin Smith. I like that comparison, but to me, he
Mhm.
he has a little bit more physicality in him than Devin Smith did, and he's a little bit more of a better route runner
Yep.
because Devin Smith was more of a straight up 9 route.
Oh my God! Did you see that, Miki?
Yes, he jukes people out of their shoes. He's just insane.
He is insane.
And I was actually
He's
surprised. I was actually surprised that we got him because, like, he was committed to TCU, and I know he was floating heavily with Texas Tech because his brother goes there.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that we got him, but it's a
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh in the middle, but see, my favorite thing about wide receivers are the routes. That's why I love Bryson Rodgers so much and Brandon Ennis. I feel like they're the two best route runners in all of America, period.
definitely.
That's the same. He hit him with almost the JJ from the Rose Bowl.
That's what I said too when I first saw this.
And he's playing some of the toughest competition in America
Yeah,
by the high school he goes to.
isn't that Quinn Ewers' alma mater?
Yep. It sure is.
I mean, and he doesn't go down easy either. For someone that's supposedly small, when he gets tackled, he just runs through people.
Yeah. So who do you want to talk about next?
I like the DE that I want to talk about next is Luke Waffle from
I love Luke.
Hunt School. I think he's amazing. We have to get him.
True story. When we used to play his high school, when I was in high school, we smacked him every single time, just to let you guys know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. Like,
wow.
Not even close.
Wow. They must have upgraded.
Well, when I was in high school, our high school was known for football players. Theo Reddick came out of there. There's a few other kids that made it to the NFL that came out of there.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
We never had to play Bergen. I mean, Bergen Catholic was always Bergen Catholic. Don Bosco was starting to pop then. So, oops. Here we go.
And I just love the energy he plays with. You can tell he just fires up people around him, and he's just that Energizer Bunny type of dude.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of like Jack Sawyer. I was
going to say the same thing.
I know a lot of people have seen it too, but he's just got that leader of men type of mentality. Like, get behind me and I'll just take you wherever we want to go, man.
Oh, snap. I think that was my high school that he just made that sack against. Yep.
And his brother just transferred to Penn State, so I think they're coming after him hard, but I really hope we get him because he's another must-get dude along with Deuce Gerald's. Like, he's just so disruptive, so fast, and I love the energy he plays with. He's always pumping up his teammates. His interviews are awesome. I love his personality. I just really hope he's a Buckeye. I think he'd be a great fit.
And yeah, Matt, no, Don Bosco is elite. They are very good.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, you know who else I want at defensive end? I want Waffle, I want Gerald's, and I want Cruel from IMG. If we get those three, I don't care who else we get on the D line. I'm good.
See, I'm not crazy about Cruel.
Really?
I'm not crazy about him.
Why?
I heard he's a lot shorter than what he's listed, and a lot of people say he has trouble maintaining his weight. So I think that'll be a struggle for him. Not to say that Coach Mick couldn't handle it, but I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's just not one of my top guys.
Yeah. And what do you mean by maintaining his weight? Like he loses weight too much, or he's gaining weight too much?
He fluctuates in his weight too much from what I've heard from other places.
Oh, okay.
And I heard he's shorter than what he's listed on 247.
So here's the thing for me. Say he's shorter than he's listed, right?
Yeah.
If he's fluctuating in his weight to where he's going up and they want him to come down, then I'm okay with that because then Coach Mick could get weight on him pretty easily, and you just move him inside to one of the defensive tackle spots. But if he's fluctuating in weight in terms of he's losing too much weight, then that might be more of an issue to go along with his height, because then you really can't move him inside. Maybe you can move him to the linebacker.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that could play either linebacker or DE.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we. I think with Matt Patricia, we're
Mhm.
more likely to land guys like that are kind of in between because he runs a versatile type system. So I'm not saying it couldn't work. He's just not one of my top level guys right now. I'm not saying he can't move up to that, but he's just not that for me right now.
Yeah, freaking Luke Waffle is special. He's explosive. He has great, powerful hands. He's very quick. He gets off the ball quick.
Plus
And
we
what's that?
plus we can say release the Hun.
Oh my goodness. No, we don't want to say that.
Yes we can.
You know what? You're the boss. We could say that. But I'm just gonna say with the Jersey schools, some of them are I have a personal disdain for some of them.
He'll be
Especially they're talking about St. Joe's, Montville. No, we're not discussing St. Joe's. I hate them.
oh
That's a big time rival of ours. Like I hate it. I do not like them.
St. Joseph's Prep.
No, St. Joseph Prep is in Philadelphia. St. Joe's Montville is in New Jersey. Is in Montville, New Jersey.
Okay.
They're in a. It's them. Bergen Catholic are the two probably most elite and prestigious football programs in the state of New Jersey in the history. And we used to have a lot. We've had a lot of battles with St. Joe's Montville, with Del Barton, which is another private school. And yeah, the Hunt School was really an afterthought. We would smack them around. Basically, we could score whatever we wanted against them. Like we just name our number. It was kind of like Ohio State playing Oregon in the Rose Bowl. How much do you want to beat them by?
Cool.
But obviously, a lot of the landscape has changed. Even like some of the basketball powerhouses are no longer powerhouses. Like Roselle Catholic, when I was in high school, we used to smack them up. Now they're one of the best high school programs in the country. So things change as you get older. Is there anyone else you wanted to discuss tonight?
Another option at nose tackle would be Noah Clark.
Noah Clark?
Yep.
Ooh.
He's
That popped up really fast, so he better be really good.
He's a big boy and he can move too. The only thing that didn't made me bring up Perez first was I think we have a better shot at getting Perez than we do Clark.
So Clark is out of Inglewood, California. What
No.
hold on. He's out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. There's a couple Clarks. 6'4", 330. That's a big boy.
He's got similar measurements to Perez, but I think we got a better shot at Perez right now because his visitor list is all North Carolina, South Carolina schools, and Notre Dame right now.
North Carolina, South Carolina, Notre Dame. We're kind of good, but we do pretty well in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah. I know he's really high on NC State right now.
NC State?
Yeah. They're going something down there, man.
They need to brew back to basketball, you know what I mean?
They ain't been good at basketball since they struck out on Jordan, dude. Did you know originally he was going to go to NC State?
Nope.
Until his mom talked him into going to North Carolina.
I'm going to be honest with you. I prefer Perez. Just looking at this initially, I haven't watched this film before, but Perez seems quicker, right? In my opinion, I'd rather go with Perez and Deuce Gerald's, but I would take him too. Actually, take 3 defensive tackles.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to load up, especially on the nose tackle part, because we just haven't been getting much out of
Yeah.
that position behind K-Mac.
We haven't been taking enough numbers the past 2 recruiting cycles. So I'll
Yeah,
take all 3 of them. And especially because he's so much different than Deuce and Perez. He's more to me of like a run stopper. He'll eat up a double or triple team.
yeah. He's your plug
Yeah.
type guy.
Oh, he's playing offense too?
Yeah,
That's interesting. I
he's
like
versatile.
guys that go both ways. No Diddy.
I knew that was coming.
I had to. It sound man. I was at work today saying some crazy stuff, not thinking about it, and they were just killing me.
It happens. I do it all the
Yeah.
time.
But yeah, he look at that. He just clogs holes. You're not
Yeah,
running up the middle on him.
he reminds me a little bit of Andrew Billings out of
Okay.
Baylor, except not as big.
Yeah.
I think he moves better than Andrew Billings, but he's got that sort of size plugger type ability. He just gets
Yeah.
in lanes and gets in people's faces.
Yeah.
And I
I need
know,
you to give me one more defensive end, Mika, since you don't want to look at Jake Cruel.
um, let's see. Got a list here. We could look at the JT Bush out of the transfer portal.
Who?
JT Bush out of the transfer portal.
Oh, okay. I
Since
know
we
you're
might,
talking about JT Bush Jr.
since we might be looking at him.
Who's the kid from North Carolina? I think I pulled up JT Bush's film the other day. Who's the kid from North Carolina? I want to pull him up since he already scheduled a visit. You remember his name?
The DE.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got notes here.
Yep.
You mean Logan Barnes, the one that just visited?
Is that his name?
Hold on.
No, he didn't visit yet. He's in the portal.
Huh. I know I wrote it down somewhere. I just can't find it.
Hold on, I'm looking myself right now. I'm gonna find. Oh, here it is. It popped up real quick. Bo Atkinson.
Oh, yeah. He's really good, but I don't know if we're gonna get him because I think Florida State is coming after him hard too. But he's real big into the Christian movement, so we might get him because of that. He
Nah,
led the
he's coming. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now one thing I know. 2 things for certain. When Ohio State wants you and they need you, they're getting you. And I know UGA is after him, but UGA doesn't have the same money as us, and that's a position of need. I think if he comes visit us, that's it. He's not leaving campus.
yeah,
Yeah, so hold on. I'm trying to find film on him.
and he's got a great frame. He's 6'6" and like 250, so he's got
Says
lots.
it's 265 on this. I found some high school stuff. Like it's hard to find. It's hard to find college stuff.
Yeah, because they don't want to put it out there. Like,
Yeah, and they don't really need highlights anymore. You know.
yeah, people know who they are once you've been in college long enough, especially if you've done something.
And they let you send practice film if you need to.
Another guy
Send
that
practice film.
another guy that just entered the pro out of Ohio after he committed and went to Miami was Elias Rudolph.
Yeah. So have you seen this kid's film?
I watched a little bit of it today, but I haven't really got a chance to break it down much.
Dang. I like his bull rush right there.
He's definitely got the first step down.
split the double team. That's the quarterback's fault. You got to see that. That's right in front of you. You got to throw the ball away. But I like how he still beat the double team. He had a nice bench and rip move right there. It wasn't a lot of bench, but definitely rip, straight rush. I don't know how you don't get a hand on him. Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Nice closing speed on the tackle.
Now, and mind you, this is probably what 3-4 years ago. So I'm sure he's gotten significantly better and bigger and faster and stronger. But geez, like sometimes you could just go off their high school film and see their domination and just kind of put two to two together. And there's a lot of people in the portal. And if this is like the first guy they targeted for the D line to help with the pass rush, then that probably tells you everything you need to know about how elite he is.
And I don't think he's gonna be like a real big NIL kid either.
Yeah, but it would never hurt to have that in your favor, right?
Yeah, you always gotta have stuff in your back pocket for possible transfers. Plus, we don't know who we're gonna lose. I don't think we're gonna lose anyone off the defensive line because we're already so like thin in places. But
Mm-hmm.
you never know.
Yeah, I think it's like what Kirk said in Nevada. We're not going to lose anyone of significance. And our D line is so young that I think you could have them know that they need to develop. They're not ready. You don't want them to put bad film on tape that could just hurt your draft stock. And plus, I mean, they're going to rotate. That's the key of this year. You know, we've been saying that forever, Mika. Rotate, right?
I've been saying that in every chat. I swear, people get probably tired of hearing me say it, but we need to rotate more this year than even more than we did last year because it's a
Yeah.
long season and we got to get these young guys some reps and playing time.
Yep, exactly. And no, I don't think anyone gets tired of it because everybody feels the same way. Everybody that's like true diehard Buckeye fans know we need to rotate. First off, you have to keep these kids engaged, keep them hungry, keep practice intense, so that way they know, like, hey, I'm not just here just to be scout team. Like, yes, I'm playing scout, but I might also have a role, and also like long-term development. Like, this might not be my year to be the main guy, but next year or the year after, I'm going to be the main guy and I'm going to be ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta keep them ready because it's football. You never know. You could get injured. You could get injured. Someone could have to leave the program for some reason. You have to be ready constantly. It's
Absolutely. And plus, it'll just keep people from entering the portal as much if they know they're going to play.
That's what I love about football. It's the ultimate like team sport, and you got to be ready to pitch in and help whenever you can. And if you're not, then there's always going to be someone behind you ready to take your spot. You better be ready.
Absolutely. So let's dive into one more before we leave, and I'm gonna let you pick it. Pick a good. Let's give them a surprise one. Who do you want to get?
Surprise one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know he's from a smaller school. Don't everybody jump in the chat and tell me that. I know. His name is Cade Turner. He's a defensive end, and he's from Dawson Bryant High School.
Do you spell Cade with a C or with a K?
With a C.
Yeah, I found him. Where's he from?
Dawson Bryant. Last I checked.
What school? I mean, what state? Because there's a lot of Cade Turners actually.
Ohio.
I wonder if I spelled his name wrong. And you say he playing defensive end?
Yeah,
Gage.
edge guy. He might be listed under edge.
Dawson Bryant High School?
Yes.
All right. All right, you could start talking about him.
I know it's low level competition, but he's dominating people. He's making them look like ragdolls out there. And I think if he camps, he could get an offer. Him and Elijah Jones Smith are two guys that I got my eye on that could get an offer if they camp.
So they have him listed at 6'5", 225. He runs a 4.67. He benches 265. Deadlifts 415. Class of 226. So he's a junior in high school. That's actually that's a pretty solid one. I'm not surprised. I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, you surprise me all the time, but like that one's a good one. Like there's some potential in those numbers.
He flashes, dude. If you watch him play and stuff, he flashes. He's got potential. I mean, I know his competition level ain't great and stuff like that, but he's got the frame.
Yeah, and he could get bigger. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get faster, especially in a year. And then he's an Ohio kid, so I'm sure it's easier to have him buy into the system and wait his turn and develop and just get bigger and stronger. He's definitely quick off the ball. I can tell you that much.
That's what I'm saying. And like everyone says, well, it's small school competition. Yeah, but if you're dominating small school competition, it's like the Brody Lennon tight end that we offered last year. He was playing small school competition, but he was dominating.
Absolutely. And I mean, to me, if you're going to be a small school and people want to say that, then guess what you do? If you're Ohio State, come to this camp. We're going to have elite kids here and show us that you're meant for this. And you could treat him like Jay Cook. Make him grind, make him want it, and see how bad he wants to be here. And look at what Jay Cook did. He came in, and now he's in a 2D.
Yeah, and he was my best. He was the best story of the class for me. Him and BPM, like they were the two best stories in my opinion in the whole class.
And I actually owe everybody an apology. Bogpin wanted to come on, but like we were getting busy. We just started this, so we were trying to figure out how to run the show and everything. So we're gonna try to get him on shortly, since that spring camp has ended. But he wanted to actually come on before the season even ended last year.
He's such a great kid. He just seems like one of those kids that you would just love to be around and hang out with. He's so cool.
Yeah.
And so humble too for such an athletic kid. But look at Keaton's speed off the edge. And
yeah, I'd like that pursuit, how he ran down the line on him.
And I mean, running backs don't get away from him. Quarterbacks don't get away from him.
Yeah, he has some tenacity. They got him lined up out wide?
Yes, he's extremely athletic.
That's interesting. There's definitely, I can see a role for him. And now he's playing running back. Fullback.
He's a jack of all trades type of kid. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we can get him to camp, which I hope he does, and I think he will, I think he has a possibility to get an offer.
He definitely has Division I size. 6'5" already, 225. He still he might grow another inch or two.
Every time I bring him up on the bigger sites and stuff, the competition level, look at what he's doing.
Well, Mika, that's why you're the guru. Not everybody has the same keen eye that you have. And everybody thinks you have to always get every single player has to be a 5-star. No, you need some developmental pieces that are willing to wait their turn and develop and push the guys in front of them and to push themselves as well. You have to have that. Every program has to have that. Otherwise, you're just going to have a bunch of kids hitting the portal because they all should be starting.
That's the backbone of your program, man.
Yeah. Jeez, I love the nastiness. Did you see him just truck that kid, the
Yeah,
safety?
I've watched his film like so many times. This film.
Yeah. Yeah, don't give up your secrets, but when we get offline, I need to find out how you find all these kids. It's just crazy. They need to put you on the staff.
Oh, I just subscribe to a lot of high school football
Don't give up
cha-
your secret. I'm gonna ask you
channels
when we
and
get off.
stuff.
Don't give up the secret.
I'm not
And
giving up
everybody
all
else
my
will try to do what you do. I mean, they don't have the same vision as you, but
I'm not giving up all my secrets, dude.
yeah. But that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, if he can't, I seriously think he could get a look. Whoever ends up with him is gonna end up with a monster of a dude.
And see, Matt agrees with me. Don't say anything, Mika. So Mika, this is the thing. You're such a good-hearted person. There's people out here that will steal your ideas if you're putting it out there. They'll steal it and then act like it was theirs. So just be careful because I don't want you to experience that.
It's already happened a few times.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
All right, cool. Well, do you got any final words for Buckeye Nation and the BBZ fam before we get out of here?
We're going back to back.
You heard it here from the guru,
We're building
Mika.
we're building a dynasty. Rotation is key. You know all my phrases.
Absolutely.
I have my catchphrases.
Yeah, and you gonna make it public and make it known. So my question to you, are you ready?
Ready?
Yeah, for August 30th, we're going to the Texas game.
Still got to talk my mom into it, but you
Nope, you
never
got
know.
to
It's
mom.
looking
What do
good.
I have to buy mom a ticket too? I
Well,
will if that means she's gonna bring you.
I'll have to bring somebody.
Yeah, she could come.
Cool.
Just let me know. Go talk to her and let me know so I could make arrangements to get the tickets.
I'm sure we can cover the tickets, man. It's just
Nah, I'm gonna buy the tickets because this is on me. I want to do that. Show my appreciation for you and everything you do for the channel and just being a good person and a good friend and always being loyal. Like loyalty is such a hard thing to find these days. And I just want to just give back to you.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, man.
Yep.
You make me emotional.
It's all good, Mika. Everybody loves you. You're amazing. You have a great spirit. You're awesome, and everybody loves you. I don't know anyone that doesn't. So it'll be an honor for me to go to the game with you.
Oh, I'd be honored too, bud.
So on that note, I'd like to say thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for all the super chats. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Our boy Deb is out there on a boat. He was catching some big fish today. I don't know if you saw it on our X account. If you haven't, go check it out. Show him some love. He's missing you guys, and he can't wait to get back. It's a great vacation that he needed because we got some big shows coming up next week when he gets back. I'm about to head to Cali tomorrow for my daughter's OV, so I'll be gone for the weekend. And yeah, we're gonna have a big week. You guys are gonna be pleasantly surprised with what we have up in store for you guys next week. It's fully loaded. So on that note, go Bucks. OH.
IO.